Yo people, it's your boy Gilly here, and Oscar season is just around the corner, so I thought it'd be a brilliant idea to watch all the Best Picture nominees and let's just rank them from worst to best. At the worst spot of the Best Picture nominees, this doesn't necessarily make it a bad movie, but at number 10 I have F1. I do think this movie gets too much hate. Like, people's like, okay, cool, yeah, I don't think it deserved a spot in this sort of list, and for example, movies like No Other Choice, which I think should have been nominated, just weren't. F1 taking up this spot, I'm not too mad at it, even though, yeah, I agree it shouldn't be here, but it's still a very entertaining and fun movie. I think Brad Pitt was brilliant in it. Damson Idris, I think maybe could have been better, but again, I just think Brad Pitt is the highlight for me. Kerry Condon was great in this as well, and yeah, I think those two genuinely were just the highlight in this movie as a whole. I really enjoyed the sound, the visual effects, I think were brilliant, and yeah, it's just a very fun and entertaining movie. Sorry. Yeah, my cinema experience of it was pretty good, and yeah, I don't think it deserves the hate. But anyways, definitely the weakest of the list. At number 9, we have Begonia. Now, in terms of Yorgos Lanthimos' work, I'm not too invested in it. If you see my TikTok, then you've seen this whole list, and you know what I'm sort of already gonna say about it. Begonia is great. I really enjoy the creative direction they try to go with it, you know, and I appreciate just the attempt. And I do still think it is a great movie. I've got it at a 4 out of 5 on Letterboxd. There are just some things that it's just not executed perfectly. And so we're talking about stuff like, for example, in terms of acting, Jesse Plemons and Emma Stone absolutely carry the show. They are absolutely amazing, and that's about the main highlight for me. Everything else I think is just a bit weird from then on. And then again, it is a Yorgos film, but I prefer Begonia to Poor Things, which I think might be a crazy shout according to what I've heard on the internet. But yeah, I really liked what they were going for. They didn't really execute it perfectly, but it's fine. I enjoyed the movie how it is. And yeah, my number 9 is. At number 8, we have Train Dreams. Now, again, the acting is fantastic. Joel Edgerton, he's just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant in this movie. But the one main thing that I have to talk about this movie, and I'm gonna spend the rest of my time talking about this movie with this aspect, is the cinematography. The visuals are amazing. If we're talking about visually, in the top 3 of these Best Picture nominees, Train Dreams is up there. Top 2, top 3. I wouldn't put it at number 1. Definitely top 3, because some of these shots, and I noticed it from the get-go, like some of these shots are just absolutely incredible. And that experience, just seeing these shots, were so sort of breathtaking, and I really enjoyed that. That is definitely the main aspect of the movie for me. Again, Joel Edgerton's acting is brilliant. I guess the movie itself just didn't have the substance I required. It was good in everything else, but it wasn't amazing in those sort of aspects and plot and storytelling. So Train Dreams, I'll put it at an 8. Moving on to number 7, we have Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. Now, this is probably the first surprise of the list, because a lot of people are calling Frankenstein this year's villain, this year's Oscar villain. I heavily disagree with this. I think Oscar Isaac was brilliant. Jacob Elordi, absolutely fantastic. I thought he was a front runner for supporting actor, but there have been some absolutely amazing performances this year. And Frankenstein was just a fantastic experience. I thought Mia Goth was brilliant. The visuals are incredible. The sets, the costumes, you know, even the way that Frankenstein's monster actually looks in this movie when he's in the snow, he's got the hood and that jacket, it's just incredible. I think storytelling, it was deep. You know, the bit with the old man, the blind man in a sort of cottage, brilliant. Movie's absolutely brilliant. I think people are hating on it a bit too much. Yeah, like, I really did enjoy this movie. And yeah, that's why it sits at number 7. Moving on to number 6, I was very tied between 2 movies for this spot, but I ended up giving Secret Agent the number 6. Secret Agent, you see how we were talking about visually with Train Dreams? Secret Agent is probably my number 1 in terms of visuals. It is absolutely incredible. This vintage sort of Brazilian setting, these colors are just popping. They are so vibrant. It's honestly like incredible. The amount of yellows and just bright reds you see. Visually, it is stunning. Wagner Moura's performance is incredible. Wagner Moura had an absolutely amazing performance. One that rivals, you know, some of the front runners that we're going to talk about. It's just so good. The story is brilliant. My viewing experience sort of did get kind of ruined when I watched it because I didn't have subtitles for a lot of it, even though I'm Portuguese, so I understand quite a bit of it. But there was just some stuff that kind of ruined the flow for me because I was like, okay, but like, what's he talking about there? What does this mean? So if I had seen it, for example, with a more natural experience in the cinema with good subtitles, it would have been a lot better. But then again, I can still appreciate the value to this film. It's absolutely incredible. If you haven't watched it, please do. I think a lot of you will be very stunned by the visuals and the acting and just the plot and story overall. It's absolutely amazing, and that's why it sits at number 6. So now moving on to number 5. This was the movie that I decided to put above Secret Agent and the last international made movie. Sentimental Value is my number 5. This movie is just, when we talk about something that makes you think, yeah, you watch a movie, sometimes you just move on as soon as you finish it. There are some movies where you rarely end it and you just think about it. When you go to sleep, you think about it. Maybe you even watch a couple of videos, like people explaining and giving their opinions on it. Sentimental Value is one of those movies. Stellan Skarsgård is fantastic. Renata Reinsve is absolutely fantastic. Inge Ibsdóttir Elias is flipping amazing performance in this. I think so underrated, her performance. Elle Fanning, again, fantastic. All the performances in this are just so good, with a story and a plot that's driven so well. Sentimental Value, I wish I could put it higher because it really is just that good of a movie, and I really do want to watch it again. I think it's absolutely fantastic. Yeah, you know, I love Sentimental Value, and I think there are a lot of lessons you can take from it, and it really just does make you think. Moving on to number 4. I think this also might be a surprise to a lot of people out there because of how glazed this movie is. We have Sinners. Now, Sinners, again, is a fantastic experience. A lot of people have it at 5 out of 5. I have it just below a 4.5 out of 5. It was a fantastic experience watching this. I've watched this twice now, I believe. It really is that good of a movie. Do I think it's slightly overhyped? Yes. I think it's a bit overrated in terms of people are saying it's some of the best movies ever and like one of the best things they've seen in a very, very long time, which I get is opinion, but I just think it's a bit overrated. Michael B. Jordan's performance is great. Is it worthy of an Oscar? No, I don't think so personally. I think there are a couple performances better. The story and the plot is brilliant. Visual effects are really good. I've recently just watched a video where they sort of broke down the visual effects going into it, and you don't really notice it at first, but it really is just flawless, the visual effects in this movie. I think it's just an incredibly entertaining and fun experience, you know, throughout. There are a lot of little lessons you can learn from it as well, and I think that's sort of a pattern with these sorts of movies, is you can always learn from it, and, you know, an immense demonstration of culture and sort of upbringing. You can tell why this movie resonates with so many people out there that can actually, you know, relate to this sort of culture and stuff, and it really is just a fantastic experience. I wish I could see it in IMAX. I think that would have went insane. But yeah, Sinners, I've kept it at 4 just because I think the next 3 movies are all 5 out of 5s, and I just didn't put Sinners at 5 out of 5. But yeah, great movie. Let's move on to the next. Moving on to number 3, we have One Battle After Another. Again, I think another surprise because people have this at least their top 2. I mean, One Battle looks like it's going to sweep the Oscars, looks like it's going to win Best Picture, Best Director. It's a 5 out of 5 movie, 100%, you know. The score in this movie is fantastic. Leonardo DiCaprio's acting is brilliant. Chase Infinity is also brilliant. Sean Penn, another one. Tiana Taylor, like, they are all brilliant performances. The story is great. The plot is just, you know, I think One Battle was the first movie that I watched of like the big 3 this year. The big 3 I'm talking to obviously is Mighty Supreme, One Battle After Another, and Sinners. One Battle was the first one I watched of the 3. It really is just an insane movie-going experience. It's fantastic, you know. The car chase scene at the end is fantastic. Sean Penn absolutely lights up this whole project. So does Leonardo DiCaprio. Chase Infinity, for this being her first like proper sort of like performance, incredible, absolutely incredible. And yeah, like, it just does everything so well. The only reason I don't have it higher is because of the next two movies just resonated with me differently, and it's just insane. All these movies coming up now are 5 out of 5 movies. One Battle was the first one. Let's get on to the top two. Moving on to number 2, we have Hamnet. Now let me tell you something. If this is the first time on my channel, or you haven't seen the video I made about Hamnet, I don't need to say much because that video says it all. This movie was insane. You know, I was sobbing throughout so much of it because it hit me that deep. It really did hit me that deep. And Jessie Buckley, I mean, she for sure seems like she's gonna win the Oscar. I mean, I'm pretty sure she's won it at every single award show, so I think it's pretty much secured. I mean, as it should be. She's by far 100% the best actress of this whole lineup this year. Like, she's just incredible. There's so many of those gut-wrenching moments in this movie, those so emotionally deep that it really makes you think about it. Like I said with with Sentimental Value, you really think about this movie. And coming out of the cinema, I remember it was raining as well. This is the worst thing. It was nighttime. It was raining when I came out of the cinema when I watched Hamnet. And I was just thinking about it on the walk home in the rain. It was fantastic. And I'm pretty sure you know what my number 1 is now. It's the only movie that I haven't said yet. But I was so close to putting Hamnet above this movie just because of how strongly I felt about Hamnet. Paul Mescal, again, another amazing performance. Noah Jupe and Jacoby Jupe, the two brothers, absolutely fantastic. This movie should be talked about more, and it should be a front runner for all these Oscars because it really is just that good. And yeah, I guess we'll now move on to number 1. So number 1 on my Best Picture nominees list, and the movie that I think for sure is my favorite and the best of this year, is Marty Supreme. Josh Safdie, Timothée Chalamet, Tyler the Creator, you know, Odessa, this whole cast. Yeah. The Safdies, I mean, well, they used to be together, but obviously this is Josh Safdie's individual project. Their casting has always been absolutely fantastic. And to cast these people that acting isn't their main job, their main role, and them shine in a movie is just fantastic. Timothée Chalamet, I think, had the best performance of anyone this year. I think he deserves that Oscar. Odessa's performance was brilliant. Tyler the Creator is a perfect side character in this movie. That sort of chaotic blend of action and suspense with, you know, drama. It's a beautifully and perfectly crafted movie. I absolutely loved it. I was on my toes throughout the whole thing. It genuinely doesn't give you a time to rest. And some people may find that overwhelming or overstimulating. These are the type of movies I just love. I absolutely adore movies like this. It keeps on going. I love it so much. That end scene is just the cherry on top to a fantastic performance and a fantastic movie. And Marty Supreme is for sure my number 1. A 5 out of 5. I just love this movie so much. And yeah, that rounds off our list, our top 10 Best Picture nominees. I think it's a very different list. I haven't seen anyone with a list that's the same as mine, so I'm quite proud of that actually, because I wanted to do something different while also being genuine in my ratings and my reactions. So yeah, I hope you lot enjoyed it. If you haven't already, follow the letterbox, follow my TikTok. I already made a TikTok putting my top 10, but in here I went a bit more descriptive. And yeah, hope you lot enjoyed it. Please like, comment, and sub, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.